Greetings to all viewers at home. My name is Paul Wutsi. I am from Nkangala TVET College. I am here today to present a lesson for Quantity Survey N5. The aim of this lesson is to ensure that students understand how do we work out the interim evaluation. The interim evaluations are the monthly payment that should be prepared for the contractor. I have prepared some few slides that I just want to share with you before we start with the whole calculations. On my slide, we have the interim evaluation, which is the monthly valuation to provide the reasonable estimate of total value of work that has been satisfactorily complete. So in other words, it means that the interim valuation that we will be working on, it has to be reasonably estimated in a certain percentage where the money should be paid to the contractor. In our next slide, we also have the unfixed materials. The unfixed materials are the raw materials on site that should be used for different purposes. For example, we have the sand, we have the stones that are not fixed. So those are the ones that we call the raw materials. So it's what I'm talking about here. And moving forward, we also have what we call the retention money. The retention money is a percentage of money that the client owes to the contractor that is kept for repairs and is only paid after the maintenance period. When we talk about the retention money, we are referring to the 10%. It's usually 10% of money that the client should withhold in case if there are some latent defects, there are some repairs that need to be done after the completion of the project. So we call that the retention money. All the terminology that I am presenting now, they will make an impact on the interim of evaluation monthly payment. Moving to the next slide, we have the preliminaries. The preliminaries are the general details of a project, which including some specifics like what will be necessary to execute the project and what conditions are relevant. Usually before the start of the project, we have to prepare the site, we have to demarcate the site, we have to allocate the offices, we have to do the water connections, we have to hire the security company to be on site full time. So those are falling under the category of preliminaries. Moving to the next slide, we have the interim payment. An interim payment is an intermediate payment from the client to the contractor for work done up to a certain stage or after a certain time. Here, the client is not going to pay the contractor direct. Quantity surveyor is the one who is responsible to work out the interim payment and advise the client. So the work that is done with the time or the percentage will be determined by the quantity surveyor. So I think I'm not going to dwell much on this one, but when we work out the payment, you will understand it more. The next slide is the interim payment certificate. The interim payment certificate is a document that principal agent issues to the client to allow intermediate payment to the contractor. We cannot just decide today and say we are going to pay the contract. There must be a document in place that allows us to pay the contractor. That document, we call it the interim payment certificate, and it has to be prepared prior before the issuing of the money, if you can allow me to put it like that. And moving forward, we also have what we call a bill of quantity. A bill of quantity is a document that details the project in standardized format using the prescribed unit, i.e. we have the labor, we also have materials. So this is the final document that will prescribe how much the project will cost. We call it a bill of quantity. And moving to the next slide, that is where now we will be dealing with the exercise and the bill of quantity summary. If you look at the exercises, it says prepare the interim valuation for the third partial payment to the contract. Once we talk about the third partial payment, it means we are paying the contractor for the third time. The first payment has been made, the second payment has been made. Now we are preparing the third interim payment to the contractor. So we have to look at what is given on the bill of quantity summary. We are given the preliminaries with the amount as it has been indicated here. We also have the earthworks, we have the concrete, we have the masonry, waterproofing, roof covering, and so on. You go down with them. There are up to 16 on the list. And moving to the exercise, all the calculated amount should be rounded to the nearest 10 rand. In other words, we don't want to see any cents here. We will be dealing with the rounding of the nearest 10 rand. And the contract period is 9 months. The project has been issued. The main contractor have the tender. The contract period is for 9 months. Let's look at the work that has been done. They are already done. 100% of the earthwork is completed, and 45% of the concrete work is complete. 50% of the masonry is complete. The value of the unfixed material on site is 6,000. A retention fee of 10% is withheld. The contractor was paid to the total amount of 302,750. Okay, how do we go about this? Allow me to share this exercise with you. We will have to refer to what is on the slide, because this is what will actually lead us the way. We will start with the preliminaries. Our preliminaries are at the amount of 125,300. So when we work out the preliminaries, we consider the total month that the project is supposed to be completed, and the month, the third month that we should pay the contract. So we will have 3/9. We multiply that by the original amount from the bill of quantity summary, which is 125,300. 125,300. We will have to use the calculator on this one. So for us to get the correct one for the third month, we will say 3 divided by 9 months is equal to, and we multiply that by 125,300, and it gives us 41,766.66. Because we said, I already mentioned that it has to be rounded to the nearest 10 rand. So we will have the 41,770. When we round it to the nearest 10 rand, it will give us 41,770. Moving forward, we have the earthworks. According to what we have here, the earthworks is complete. So we have to take the earthwork as the total amount that is prescribed on the bill of quantity summary. So we'll have the earthworks. You have to mention that it's 100% done. Then we know that the amount will be 99,510. 99,510. Okay, now we are moving to the next one, which is the concrete. The concrete is only 45% work that has been completed. So we'll just have to work it out, the concrete as well. We'll have the concrete 45% multiply by the original price from the bill of summary, which is 457,678. 467,000. I mean 57,000. 57,000 and 678. 78. Then when we work out the 45% of this amount, you take your calculator, you take 45, you divide it by 100, and you multiply it by this amount, which is 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, 8. And it gives us the total amount of 205,955.1. Remember, we must always round it to the nearest 10 rand, which will be 205,960 rand. That is the amount that we have. And moving to the next One, we have the masonry. Masonry are the bricks. Anything that involves bricks, we call it a masonry. The masonry is 50% completed. We have masonry that is 50% completed. Masonry, 50% completed. 50% completed will be half of the amount that are on the bill of quantity summary under the masonry item. So we have 220, 300. So which means we will have 110, 150 as a 50% amount. But you still have to indicate here so that it is understandable how did we get this one. It's 220, 300. Then it landed to 110, 150,000. Now we are moving forth. Moving forth, we have the value of unfixed material on site, which is an amount of 6,000 rand. So before we work out the unfixed material on site, we have to add the total amount that the builders has completed. So we will indicate that builders work complete. Builders work complete. We add the total amount. We will have 41,770 plus 99,510 plus 205,960 plus 110,150 rand. The total amount is 457,390 rand. Now, after you have added the builder's work completed, it's where now you have to add the value of the unfixed material on site, and they have actually it is allocated of 6,000 rand. So you will indicate that unfixed materials on site is equal to 6,000 rand. Unfixed material on site is equal to 6,000 rand. We add the unfixed material on site together with the builder's work that is completed, then we will have 457,390 plus 6,000, which give us the amount of 463,390 rand. Then we now have to deduct the less retention fee, which is normally 10%. The less retention fee is the money that the client should withhold in case if there are some jobs that are not well fixed, and the contractor should come back and fix those one. And they also have a period that has been placed for that particular amount. So here we have the retention fee. We have to indicate that the less retention fee of 10%, then we work out 10% of this money here. Then when we work out 10% of this money, we'll know that it is 10 divided by 100 multiply by 463,390. It gives us 46,340 rand. Then from here we have deducted this, and we have to deduct this less retention from the total amount. Then we'll say it's equal to 463,390 minus 46,340 is equal to 417,050 rand. We are not done. We are left with the last amount that we should work. We must also consider that we are given the amount that was paid to the contractor, which is 302. So we are going to deduct the 302 to the 401,750. So you will say less previous payment to the contractor. Less previous payment to the contractor, and then which is the amount that is allocated here on the exercise, which is 302,750,000. 302,750,000. Then we will now minus this amount from the 417. We'll say 417,050 minus 302,750, which give us the total amount of 114,300,000. This is the payment that is due to the contract. Payment that is due to the contract. That come to the end of my lesson for today. For a small brief of this, this is a way in which you can have an understanding of how do we pay out the contractor monthly. We also have the first partial months, we also have the second, and we also have the final account. To wrap it up, if you want to contact us, you can go to www.nct.edu.za. That is our website, and if you visit that website, you'll be able to be linked with other social platforms. I thank you.